Now we've heard two from the friends. We are going to hear another. And lastly, from the bunch of friends of the couple, we now give the microphone to Jan, Racia, Laurel for a little message. So we give a big round of applause. Ma'am?
So when Rose first asked me to give a speech at their wedding, I was a bit apprehensive at first. I actually said no because I wasn't sure I can get through this without crying. But since this is your day and I love you, here we go. Joke lang, joke lang. Joke lang. But okay. So for those who don't know me yet, I'm Ron's favorite sister, and of course, he's my favorite kuya. I've known him for 27 years, and it may not be obvious from our height, but we're only 1 year apart. So kuya us being close in age, we went through a lot of things together. We were schoolmates, playmates, we were travel buddies. Actually, he's my OG travel buddy. He was my classmate in college, my protector when people would bully me, my advisor, and my best friend. Growing up, we were close, but we weren't really as close as I wanted to be. Kasi very clingy ako eh. I think he had this need to be independent, or I don't know, but he liked to keep things to himself. And me, being me, I'd be nosy, go through his notebooks, read letters and his homework, because I'm such a nerd, and I would tattle on him if he would get anything less than a perfect score. In hindsight, I can see why he didn't really like me very much growing up. I was the typical annoying little sister that wanted his attention, and he would always be the kind one. People would always describe kuya as mabait. Si Julian, mabait yan. Or, ang swerte mo sa kuya mo, no? Ang bait-bait talaga niya. And I'd be the smart one. But in all honesty, kuya is really smarter between the two of us. Even though, actually, Jed is the smartest than him. Then, yeah. So I would always be amazed at how Kuya's brain works. The most complicated of problems, he'd find simple solutions that will leave me scratching my head and saying, why didn't I think of that? He was always so good at puzzles, very logical, and he's just so effortlessly smart. And when I went to college, I was known as Ron's little sister. So it wasn't hard to position myself, or rather make myself known to professors because they already know my brother to be smart and kind. I've always looked up to Kuya and have always been proud of him. When Kuya worked as a lifeguard in Wisconsin, he was the only one who passed as a wave pool lifeguard, the toughest and the last level, among many, I might add, and was even awarded Employee of the Month in pool of thousands of employees. And I would always brag about him to anyone who would listen, like I'm doing now. When Kuya was selected in MTAP, a math competition, I made it my goal to be part of it too. I had to do things in superlative because Kuya has set such a high standard. I like doing things with him and Jed and would often base my interests off of theirs. I played what they played, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Crush Gears, Pokemon, Beyblades, now Valorant. Because how else would we bond? It's not like they're gonna play with Barbies, di ba? Alangan sila mag-adjust. But most of Kuya's friends are my friends too. Kuya attracts good people because he's good people. It's actually why he attracted Rose. I first met Rose in UANP, I think it was 2010, when both of them were freshmen. I was visiting with my schoolmates from CDO and they were all speaking Bisaya. But di ko kasabot. I remember her saying that she wasn't so good at Tagalog then. In retrospect, we should have spoken in English. The next time we met was 2017 in Astoria when Kuya invited his UANP friend. Well, the one that, 2014 pala. Sorry, I stand corrected. So this time, her Tagalog was better, and I guess we were speaking English because Cesar was with us. I actually don't call Rose ate because to me, she's just Rose, my friend, and part of Just Us League. Our group with Kuya, Rose, Cesar, Cristel, Neil, Steve, Josh, and si Jed. Yeah. Then she became Kuya's girlfriend. Our dynamic didn't really change even though I would often tag along their dates. I would often joke about how I'm their official third wheel, but I'm very grateful because I was never made feel like one. Sorry. Rose grew on me, pun intended, because love grows where my rosemary grows. But seriously, I would sometimes randomly miss her and tell her that. And I noticed that when I'd buy something from Shopee for myself, tatlo na yung binibili ko. Sa kanya, kay mama at sa akin. I was also finding myself talking proudly about her. How my brother's girlfriend is incredibly smart and has a master's degree at such a young age. And that she can speak Mandarin. And despite many things to be proud of, Rose is very humble and simple. She's modest and kind. Kailangan mo pa nga siya pilitin magpa-beauty. Not that she needs it though, because look at her, she's effortlessly beautiful. Rose and Kuya as individuals are already low-key, and even more so as a couple. You'd never see them lovey-dovey or post overly sentimental messages on Facebook. Kuya's greeting to Rose would always be, "Happy birthday, see you later, God bless." And it wasn't until they got engaged that he added the "I love you." But even without these, you would know that they deeply love each other because they chose each other and decided to love each other. 2 years ago, I asked both Kuya and Rose how they know that they're it. Sabi ko, how do you know that someone better won't come along? How can you be sure that, each one, that they're the one? And they both answered me that it's a decision. There will always be someone who's better at something, but that's why you have to choose to love someone. You have to make a decision every day to love that person. And I know that they both do that and will continue to do that because Kuya and Rose put God first. They prayed for each other. I know this for a fact because I accidentally read Rose's letter to her future boyfriend. I think she wrote it back in 2011 or 13. She wrote how she was praying for a boyfriend who will be God-fearing and how she prays that he will be worth the wait. Kuya wrote something similar because my parents would often make us write our goals and visions, and I found one of Kuya's goals he wrote in 2013. To read it off, he wrote his goals. To be a great husband to my future wife, to be a great father to my future kids, to share the word of God to my future family and to guide them towards God. To be able to raise my future kids well so that they will become great parents and spouses in the future. To have a wife that loves the Lord and is God-fearing and will support me. You can both rest in God's confidence that you made the right decision because you both intentionally prayed for each other. So Rose, to answer your letter, it was worth the wait. And I am confident that you made the best decision by choosing Kuya. And I say this without bias. Rose, I'm blessed to call you my sister and I love you. Kuya and Rose, now that you're married, I promise not to third wheel anymore. At least not too much. I love you both.
To the little sister of the groom, thank you so much again to Jan. Definitely a little emotional, even the parents are still wiping their tears. Anyway, we've heard coming from the friends, the little sister, now we listen to both the parents of the newlywed, because we know that marriage is not only a union of two hearts into one. We unite two families into one because of love and because of this marriage. Now we first listen coming from the family of the groom. To represent the groom's family, we pass the microphone to Engineer Ronald Laurel. Shall we give him a big round of applause?
Good evening, everyone. At di ko alam eh. Di ako handa. Well, I would say congratulations